Arcade games. Those were the classic days of gaming. Going to the mall, big or small, and scanning for those cabinets. It didn't matter what shape or form they were. We knew they were games. And all we needed are our quarters to play. But gaming has advanced so far now. All the good old classic arcade games are no more. It makes me sad that they are so. They got us out of the house and we saved their quarters. I think I'll sleep it off where I can dream and cast away.
Oh hey, I'm WizWar100. You're the viewers and I'm the reviewer, and welcome to a special episode of Which to Find. I've got two classic games that you can get for your Dreamcast. First, we'll take a look at Zombie Revenge. Zombie Revenge. What a stupid sounding title. And the cover even looks like a fudging joke too. I mean, look at it. But guess what? This is actually the arcade game that I've been looking for since 1999. It's one of those things where when you're a little kid, you remember playing this really awesome game back then, but you didn't know what it was called, or you didn't even know how to read it, but you remembered how awesome the gameplay was, and that's what made finding Zombie Revenge really, really difficult. And the silly ass pull name didn't help.
Originally, Zombie Revenge was titled Blood Bullet, the House of the Dead Side Story. I don't know why they changed it, because I probably would have had a better chance finding that. But then later on, it was Zombie's Nightmare, and then they settled on Zombie Revenge. But luckily for me, I finally took a look at the gameplay footage for Zombie Revenge, and I found it!
I've been searching for this game for so long, it means so much to me, and I really wish I didn't tell the guys at River City Gamers about this game until I reviewed it. Why? Because I know they're probably not going to credit me for finding this obscure game that I've been searching for my entire life. But who knows?
What I do know is that this game got ported to the Dreamcast, and that is one of the few reasons I got a Dreamcast. Classic arcade games such as Crazy Taxi, Power Stone 1 and 2, Dynamite Cop, House of the Dead 2, and so forth.
And speaking of House of the Dead 2, these games are actually connected. Zombie Revenge is actually a spin-off of House of the Dead 2.
Using the same sound effects, music, and the fact that you see the Ass Mambo Society in the game, and using the first House of the Dead mansion as its level.
That's so fucking cool. It's so cool it brought the dead back to life for their chance at revenge. A zombie revenge!
So what is Zombie Revenge? It's a beat-em-up game, much like Dynamite Cop, but with zombies instead of pirates. And there are bullshit moments in the game that spoil the fun, but I'll get to that later. So what do we get for the Dreamcast port of Zombie Revenge? Arcade mode, which has no changes of course. Original mode that comes with 3 completely original gameplay modes. Training mode where you can download a game onto your VMU. There's also a mode where you can fight the bosses from the game, which I actually kind of enjoyed playing because it also made me do better at the boss fights. It's very useful for learning how to fight the bosses efficiently when you play the main game. And then there's fighting mode, a mode which I'd like to call interestingly pointless. Now, since this is an arcade game, it's also quite short, containing only 7 levels that are about 10 minutes long, because you also have a timer that hurries your ass if you take too long.
There's no time, Hatchet. There's no time.
Starting off in arcade mode, you get to pick 3 different characters, each with their own stats and combos. This game also has a 2-player mode, which is awesome, so you and your friends can play as one of the other characters. One of these characters is called Stick. He's your average balanced character. But Stick? Jeez, what an embarrassingly stupid name. I guess his parents thought the name would stick.
Well, someone had a stick up their ass. And shut him out!
You think he's called that because he has a stick for Linda? Oh yeah, the second character is Linda, your speedy, weak character in gaming. But she does come equipped with
ballistics.
How rude! Forgive me.
Third but not least, you got Bruce Lee?
Bruce fucking Lee?
Shoryuken! Hadouken! Spinning bar of kick!
Oh, I know who I'm gonna pick. I mean, Bruce Lee kicking zombie ass? Hells yeah! No, Bruce Lee. No, Bruce Lee. Okay, fine, he's a Bruce Lee clone.
His name is Lee, goddammit.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. In fact, he's so cool, he's in the Project X zone as a character.
Next game on my list when I get the money.
The game starts up and we have our cutscenes. Is the voice acting as bad as the House of the Dead, you ask?
Are we still following this guy?
He's the one making the zombie. To catch him, we have to follow. Let's go.
I also seem to have a stick up my ass, which explains why my standing posture looks so weird.
Grab the rope!
He said all those creatures were made by humans.
South Union Railway.
My fellow Americans, I would like to once again tell you that I did not have sex with that woman.
I would kind of say yes to everyone except Bruce Lee.
Because he's Bruce fucking Lee.
No! No!
What are you doing here with crap on lighting? Oh, is it the Bruce Lee gag?
Don't you dare make another joke. It's getting really old now.
Oh, it's getting really old. Those gags grow up so fast.
Leave us alone!
Hey, you got edited in here without your consent. Go blow yourself. Whoops!
Where was I? Oh right, cutscenes. You can skip the cutscenes, thankfully, and I also forgot to mention the story. The story is some villain who reminds me of Miles Edgeworth, who tries to destroy humanity because his parents were killed, instead of becoming Kung Pao Chicken Batman. So it's up to you and your three characters to save the world. Now we can get on with the zombie killing. If you wait a little bit, like most arcade games back in the 90s, they show a little tutorial on how the controls work, which I haven't seen done in ages. You can kill zombies by shooting them to death,
Aren't they already?
or going Bruce Lee on their graves. Now, why would you ever go Bruce Lee on their graves? Well, aside from saving ammo and doing a stronger and quicker attack, your gun is a lot safer to use than beating things to death.
Aren't they
Oh,
already?
come on, that joke only works once! But the melee is not useless. You can do a lot of damage with your melee combos, and it's a lot quicker than your gun, plus you don't need to reload it. Personally, during most boss fights, I use melee because it kills them faster. This works better with the second player distracting the boss while the other player kicks them in the back, or if you get real good at blocking and countering. Each character has their own combos they can use, with Bruce Lee ending his combo with a big flaming fuck you to the enemies. I'm sure you'll find out how. You can also perform holds or quick time attacks on zombies, which, if you're using Bruce Lee, I find it really annoying since Bruce Lee here constantly gets into one while you're trying to do a combo.
Because you're tapping really fast on the attack button because, well, the combo consists of mostly the attack button.
This doesn't happen as much with the other characters for some reason, which is helpful for me since Stick is the only character I ever used that made it through the entire game on original mode. There's also hidden moves that you can do, and a few other moves such as rolling, backhand attack, the area attack move that takes your life, and the useful dash attack that knocks the zombies down. You can configure these moves on your controller for your convenience, if you ever remember to use them, because I forget. Oh yeah, there's also a guard button that I used quite a bit against certain bosses. Mostly I use it for running because if you tap it once, your character will dash for a little bit. Sometimes it's inconsistent with the running, but it works. The guard button is useful because you'll take less damage from most attacks that aren't guns or special moves, and you can do a guard break counter when an enemy hits you. Its response time is a little slow, so you'll have to plan in advance because it doesn't instantly hold up.
I would kind of suggest getting the arcade stick if you can, because this is how I play when using melee. It's compatible, which is pretty neat, but I probably wouldn't get it just for one game. Except I have two.
There's a bunch of moves you can do with the melee, but nothing is simpler than shooting a zombie in the face. There's an interesting mechanic with the gun here. While locking on, if you let the sphere turn red, you can do way more damage than if you were to just shoot the zombies normally. And if you fire at the right time, it will knock the zombies down. If you see them go flying, you know you got it. Though it doesn't hurt to just shoot normally, because it can also stun the zombies for a bit to prevent them from attacking you. So you have to judge whether you want to do a critical shot or just fire away to stun them. If you hold the fire button down, you can do a charge shot that'll knock zombies down and also does a fair bit of damage at the cost of 5 bullets. And you can cheat this by having 1 bullet in your clip. You can do the same with charging your melee attacks, but you probably shouldn't do it since it's only at close range and the payoff isn't that great. You can carry up to 60 bullets and you can find plenty of them being dropped from zombies. The gun sounds like the most useful tactic to use against the zombies, right? Yes. Yes it is. Because most of the time I'm shooting them from a safe distance, and there are also boss fights in the game where it's kind of impossible to beat without a gun because they're in high places you can't reach with your melee. There are also a variety of guns you can find to help you through the stages, like flamethrowers,
A flamethrower?
Gatling guns, lasers. Most common are the machine guns and shotguns.
I got a shotgun.
I got a better shotgun, beach.
Though with these guns, you can't perform critical shots because I guess it would be cheap doing that, but hey, the guns are still useful. Oh, if you happen to get hit and press the firing button, you'll do this cool John Woo jumping back shooting attack with your handgun. You can also get poisoned by being attacked, which doesn't kill you, but it does slow down your character when they turn purple from too much poison. And apparently there are benefits to being poisoned, such as stronger attacks and special combos that you can't perform normally. I guess the poison numbs the pain that the moves would normally cause, because, you know, human limitations, achieving only 30%. But I wouldn't think being poisoned would have had any positive benefits if you didn't tell me. Luckily, zombies have antidotes that they drop to cure you of being poisoned, and they drop plenty of these. So how exactly did they turn into zombies in the first place if they had these antidotes? Or does it only appear once infected? Let's not think about that and move on. There's gotta be something bad I can find in this game. Oh wait, the camera. It's not the worst game camera. For the most part it does its job well, though there are moments where it really sucks, but for the most part it's placed pretty well. Well that sucks, this game sounds almost perfect. Oh wait, there's that glitch that freezes your game, or at least it freezes mine. After beating the flying fucker on the train, if you don't wait for the prompt to pop up and you stand in the hotspot to the next area, the game will freeze and you have to start all over. Of course, when I tried to catch that during the recording, it didn't show up, but I thought I'd mention it if you happen to come across it. Speaking of the game prompting you, this is also why the game is so short, because the game gets your ass moving, and if you let time run out, the game designers send their monster to blow you up. I could say the bosses are kind of cheap, but you just gotta be careful when fighting some of the bigger asshole ones. Blocking really helps, though the final boss can go kill himself for being such a giant flaming pussy. Oh wait, false advertisement on the back. It said there's a branching path and there was none that I found, and secret areas don't count because you just come out the same way you went in, and those cards you find early on only affect what the final boss does for attacks. The game is still fun though, so it doesn't really pull the game back, it's just, that was a fudging lie. You know what? This game sounds perfect for the most part. I can't find flaws big enough to be a problem, except dying very easily from attacks like zombies using guns. What the fudge, man? Zombies using guns? Is this Resident Evil 6? And especially bosses. The game gives you 15 credits right off the bat in arcade mode, and 8 in original mode, and you really can't get any more to play. I wish it did the Ikaruga life system. Also, setting the difficulty to easy didn't seem to change anything from normal. I would also complain about the fudging controls, but they're not bad at all, and not bad enough to warrant a good bashing. Oh wait, this skit right here.
I got a shotgun. Eat reindeer bullets, you. I I got a machine gun, and I'm gonna start spraying. So you better pray that you got protection on. I got some patience. That's great, cause I'm running out of it.
Okay, it's not a big problem, but I think this is an issue I should bring up. You pick up weapons by either pressing the melee button or the shooting button. Okay, makes sense. But the problem with this is, you pick up weapons with the melee or the shooting button. Okay, the problem here is most of the time I'm trying to attack the zombie, but then there's a weapon on the ground and I pick it up by accident and I get hit in the face for it instead of punching his face. Does this happen often? Not exactly, but this is still a flaw in the game design I have to address. On the train level, you find more of these hunchback midgets that can go burn in hell for constantly making that eee sound from ghosts and goblins. These guys have axes they throw at you. If you get hit by these axes, they drop to your feet, and if you're also attacking in the same place because you're locking onto these bastards with your guns, your character will pick up the weapons instead of firing it. Kind of an inconvenience if you ask me, but the worst is when you already have a weapon you want to use, and you pick up another weapon unintentionally. I know this sounds stupid because you're probably saying, why not just get out of the way? Well, go do it then. Why ask such a dumb question? Long story short, it's inconvenient when it happened, and it doesn't happen that often, but be wary of it. Also, attacking small enemies like the bats and the midget boss without a gun is a major pain in the ass. But the escape attack does fix that, thankfully. Well, let's look at the other modes. Original mode is sadly not that original. What do I mean by that? You remember original mode from House of the Dead 2 where you can use items from the stuff you pick up playing in original mode? And then using it when you play original mode again to make it easier and fun? Also, for some reason, you can't play this with 2 players. I mean, that's real original. Well, you do pick up items here, except most of the items you pick up are for your VMU game that you can download from training mode. I'll get to that later. Normal mode plays exactly like arcade, except it has food items to collect for your VMU, and whatever settings you applied in the option does not apply here, or at least none that I notice, and that's about it.
Well, that's pretty normal.
But original mode does have 2 other modes. Gun mode, which greatly increases your firepower at the cost of making your melee attacks really weak and also limiting you to 1 clip. This mode is the easiest way to beat this game because of the big advantage with guns. And bare knuckle mode, which I refer to as suicide mode. Your melee attacks are stronger, but you can only punch, and whatever gun you pick up does jack shit. You remember when I mentioned about the guns being useful? Yeah, the reason why I call this the suicide mode is because without guns, some of these bosses that are flying are probably gonna kick your ass first if you're not good with melee and blocking. Going back to the menu, there's also versus boss mode, which is obviously fighting all the bosses from the game, and it's actually pretty fun, and I also recommend playing it just so you can get good at fighting the bosses, like I said earlier. Then there's fighting mode, where you pick your characters and they knock each other out. I call this the interestingly pointless mode. I mean, it's interesting, but what's the point? You don't unlock anything from it, it's just here. I mean, it looks like they were trying to experiment with a fighting engine, and it's pretty interesting, but I don't know why it's in this game. I mean, you could get the CPUs to fight each other, and that's kind of amusing for a little bit. And now that I look at it, it kind of looks like they were trying to do what Power Stone did, with the whole moving around the map and grabbing items and stuff. Last mode aside from the options is training mode, and this is where you download the Zombie Revenge VMU game onto your VMU. And all the food item you collected in original mode gets put in here. Well, not all of them.
Please change battery.
Alright, the fucking VMUs. God damn it, I hate these things. These things drain so much battery power. You're better off taking the batteries out of the thing so that you can use it next time. That's my advice. Luckily, you can still use it as a memory card without the batteries, so you don't need the batteries in it 24/7.
Well, it's kind of a problem because I actually want to play the VMU games. Do you get anything from playing this game? Well, if you get a high score in the game, you can actually unlock infinite continues in Zombies Revenge. For once, a high score actually does something, but I can't play it because the batteries drain like in an instant, and I don't even know how high of a score I need in order to unlock it either.
That's pretty helpful considering how difficult the game can get unfairly at points. I haven't unlocked it because I don't know how high your score needs to be, and because the VMU drains the battery like a bitch, I didn't get to play it that much. Also, you're supposedly able to unlock free play for arcade mode if you beat all the original modes.
Well, you know what? I actually did magically beat all 3 modes, and nothing happened! I kept looking up on the internet to see what I did wrong, and they all say the same thing. Beat all 3 modes and unlock free play. Oh, I don't see my free play!
But anyways, back to the VMU game. It's like a Tamagotchi game where you play on your VMU, which is kind of amusing, but there is a purpose for playing this. The food you get is to defeat the fucker you chose, and in this case, the fucker I chose was Bruce Lee. Oh, shut your fucking face! Anyways, after feeding your fucker, you can play 2 games with them. Zombie Fishing and Zombie Doubt. I'm sure I don't need to tell you what fishing is, but you press the corresponding button to catch your zombie. In Zombie Doubt, you try to memorize the signs that your characters show and pick out the one piece that doesn't belong there, which got me confused the first time I was playing. You also train your fucker so that you can use them in fighting mode.
Because I bought this game for the fighting mechanics! No, it's not bad, it's actually pretty fine, but I'm here for the zombie killing.
And that's Zombie Revenge. It's a great game from the arcade and it still looks good and plays good. It's got 2 players for arcade, and if you need a reason to get a Dreamcast, this game is one of them.
Next we have Dynamite Cop. Ah yes, another classic arcade game from my youth. I remember it looking like this.
It's so nostalgic that people were pissing themselves onto the screen in excitement.
We have a situation down there. Some modern-day pirates have hijacked a huge cruiser. They're holding 2,000 hostages inside, including the president's daughter. We have to invade the ship, clear the pirates, and rescue the hostages, especially the president's daughter.
You never actually save any civilians in this game, only the president's daughter, which looks like a goblin.
Thank you for saving my life again.
Ah! The plot is,
The president's daughter has been captured by pirates.
so the president gets captured by ninjas, and the daughter gets captured by pirates. Huh. You think it runs in the family like the father running for president? Hey, is that the same ship that Lester the Unlikely was on before it got attacked by pirates? Most would say...
Most unlikely. If saving the president gets me 1 burger, does saving her daughter get me 2?
Anyways, much like Zombie Revenge, it's a beat 'em up with a way more consistent camera and gameplay that plays about the same. Also, look at that cover art. Damn, that looks action-packed. I want me some of that. Oh wait, I got this game. You beat pirates up and shoot them in the ass with a variety of guns, and you can collect these P crests to go into Super Mode once you collect 5, or find an S crest that makes you stronger. Also, another thing in the game is, the more beat up your character is, the more clothes that fall off. I think I know who we would all like to pick. You also magically get your clothes back when you heal up, which is kind of amusing actually. So there's 3 characters you can pick, just like Zombie Revenge, each having their own movesets. Eddie's moveset is badass, just look at that Street Fighter copy. While on the subject of characters, Bruno DeLinger is also going to be a character in Project X Zone. Huh, what a coincidence. This game is pretty crazy. You fire anti-tank missiles at people and what the heck? Chester a bum? Hey, I know you're a hobo and all, but you don't need to turn to terrorism. Anyways, you get to blow his ass up in the game. The bosses are pretty generic, save for the octopus, which you just punch the shit out of, and...
In the name of good taste, let's not make a tentacle rape joke. Moving on.
The game has 6 missions, 3 of which are unlocked when you beat the first 3. Each mission is pretty much the difficulty of your game, such as Mission 1 having infinite continues, and as you play the other modes, you get less and limited continues. Mission 4 to 6 are the same as 1 to 3, only harder and only 1 life. There's no time limit, but there is one in one of the missions. One thing I remember from this game are the quick time events where if you press the right button, you can bypass some areas without having to fight whatever the hell is in there, and not lose health if you had failed.
1, 2, 3. Rider kick.
It creates a pretty cinematic moment when you succeed, but you better be quick and correct or else you'll be spending some time with your failure. But that's not to say you don't get anything beneficial for failing. Some of them have hidden illustrations in them. This game also has a 2-player mode, which makes it fun for all, and this game is meant to be played together. You can hold up enemies with your gun to take items or lock them up instantly. The latter not always guaranteed to work because sometimes they can escape from your holdup. If there was anything that I disliked about the game, it's the dash button. It's kinda stiff. Every time I try to run, I have to do it twice to get it to register. A minor inconvenience, but I'd say it's worth mentioning. Your characters have a bad habit of getting up on tables when you don't want them to, and just like Zombie Revenge, but worse, is they prioritize picking up items over attacking. Boss fights are also unfair because they can block your attacks and you can't. They're also able to interrupt your combos instantly. The last boss is a fucking bastard to beat because of that. This game is actually, in my opinion, shorter than Zombie Revenge. I'm not sure why, things just seem to finish faster here. There is a previous game called Dynamite Deca, or as most people remember it, the Die Hard arcade game which is only ported onto the Saturn. That kinda sucks, I was hoping it was on the Dreamcast too. There's also a bonus game called the Tranquilizer Gun where you catch animals by tranquilizing them and bringing them back to your truck. Kinda like if Snake Eater had a minigame where Snake caught animals to eat. Oh yeah, some other modes like Versus and Survival, which are okay. Any VMU functionality? Yes, if you hear your VMU beep, there's a hidden illustration nearby that you can pick up to unlock artwork in the art gallery. So what, right? Well, you do unlock a costume that one of your characters can wear. Pretty average, and it adds a little bit of a reason to go back to playing this game, though you have to be pretty precise on some of the spots to make them appear, which can get very irritating when enemies are attacking you or you run out of time for that area. So, should you get this game? Yes, I would. It's a classic arcade beat-em-up, and plus 2 players. The game plays pretty well for the most part, and has a bit of replayability with the missions.
Now, if I was to choose between Dynamite Cop or Zombie Revenge, which one would I choose?
Judgment time with your judges, Rimu and Larissa.
The gameplay between them are solid, but Dynamite Cop has some bullshitty moments such as your character doing things I didn't want them to do, trying to find and trigger the illustrations to come up, trying to grab those health pickups on the dodging scenes, and having rather annoying enemies I don't like.
Oh, ooh, right in the daddy zone.
Zombie Revenge does and has those too, but it does it less.
Zombie's Revenge for rising up with less bullshit.
While both games are short, Dynamite Cop is more replayable than Zombie Revenge. The claim that there's a branching path in Zombie Revenge is just a lie, and once you beat Zombie Revenge, that's kind of it. Dynamite Cop does have branching paths depending on which mission you choose, but only 3 of them, but hey, it's more replayable.
Dynamite Cop for having some value in replay.
The camera in Dynamite Cop is consistent, while Zombie Revenge goes for the cinematic look for the entire game, and sometimes giving the worst camera position where I can't see where things are.
Dynamite Cop is a little boring, but I can see everything on screen. Therefore, less bullshit and much more fair.
Both games have good, fun beat-em-up mechanics, but Zombie Revenge has a block button and a counter system, plus you can wail on enemies and bosses continuously without disrupting the flow. Dynamite Cop, you gotta wait till they get back up, or unless they are higher than you to keep hitting them, which kinda slows things down a bit. Also, the gun mechanics are kinda stiff. Zombie Revenge has a smoother gunplay that works well alongside the beat-em-up mechanics.
Zombie Revenge blocks Dynamite Cop from getting a point and keeps the flow going.
Dynamite Cop has very generic boss fights. You just beat the living shit out of them, and that's kind of it. In Zombie Revenge, while some bosses can be cheap, there is strategy and timing required for each one because they are all unique. Though it usually just involves shooting them in the face or punching your way through, but you gotta time it right because you can't brute force your way like Dynamite Cop, and the satisfaction is a lot better.
Zombie Revenge takes it like a boss.
Both games have mini-games and game modes with them, but which one does better? Modes! Versus modes, survival modes are just average for both. I mean, who really cares about that? Dynamite Cop does have Showdown, which is basically the same game, but with one life and more restrictions, which is really tough and I don't think I'll ever want to play those again. Original mode in Zombie Revenge is not as original as the creators think it is. But hey, I can't say it wasn't fun with its conditions, such as more firepower, or doing it the Fist of the North Star, picking up collectibles for your BMU, having 8 continues over 1, and being the only way I was able to beat the game. Tranquilizer gun is okay, you just shoot things, and the controls feels like they've been tranquilized too. The raising game is okay too. I mean, you're basically playing Tamagotchi, except that you can unlock cheats for your main game, which is really cool. Minusing the batteries dying quickly.
Zombies Revenge, because you can unlock cheats by playing the game, which gives it a reason for it to exist. And original mode, I liked it, it was fun. Zombie Revenge gets the point for cheating, in a fun way.
Well, the score has been tallied and...
But Dynamite Cop has Bruce Willis's character.
Does not count, and even if we went with that, Bruce Lee would have gotten them points. Zombie Revenge would have gotten double points because you can get this awesome costume for Stick, which turns him into...
the ultimate hero, Dynamite! What? What happened? Hey! Ooh, here comes another one. Hurry! Withdraw! Quickly! Is this what I get? I'll go easy on you.
Okay, I'm finished playing around. I hold the god of destruction in my body.
So what are you going to do about it? For the sake of the world, here goes! The power of the supreme ruler destroys evil! The ultimate hero, Dynamite!
Oh, ooh, right in the daddy zone.
Now it is a somewhat happy ending, isn't it?
John St. John, that's just great, Zombie Revenge. Oh yeah, and all the other characters have alternate costumes too. Now by my points, Zombie Revenge is the winner of Which to Find.
But hey, remember, both games are good. It's just if I had to suggest which one to pick between Zombie Revenge or Dynamite Cop,
I'd say go for zombies, because pirates are just pirates until they come back as zombies. And with that, stay tuned for more. Whoa. For a moment I thought I owned a Dreamcast.
Oh no! No!
Hey guys, enjoyed the video? Want to see them earlier before it gets on YouTube? Watch it on my site, lazyworkscreation.web.com, if you aren't already watching there. Be up to date on reviews, videos, join the forums, be a part of LazyWorks Creations, and help support the site and myself, Wizard100. There's also a LazyWorks Creation Facebook page. Be sure to also subscribe to my dedicated Let's Play channel for Let's Play videos, also updates on reviews, and subscribe to enter for a chance to win a video game giveaway when milestones are reached. Don't forget to also visit River City Gamers for content from other people like me. And this is Wizard100, you're the viewers and I'm the reviewer. Stay tuned. Hey, they're both wearing sunglasses.